This is how we make the moonshine.
Roger's Tequila Recipe, a cheap version. Moonshine Life Group. By J.B. Wagonmaker. So with that in mind, here is what I came up with for a cheap recipe that tastes, smells and acts like tequila. Basically it is a sugar wash that tastes like tequila. And yes, again, it might be mezcal. It might be none of the above. But don't really care because it came out tasting good, smelling good, and was pretty cheap. Ingredients for 5-gallon wash. Honey Trees Organic Agave Nectar 24.7 ounces from the local Walmart. About $9, it added very little to the sugar content by itself. White sugar. Bread yeast. Heated 4 gallons of water up to 200 degrees. Stirred in the agave added sugar to where the wash contained 10% potential alcohol. Added 1 gallon of cold water and let it cool to 80 degrees. Adjusted the sugar content back to just under 10%. Added my yeast and let it ferment for 5 days until the potential alcohol was down to about 0. I could have let it go another day because the yeast was still slightly active but wanted to test it out to see what it would come out like. After 2 days I did pitch in an additional packet of yeast and stirred it because it had appeared to slow down. Noticed with this batch it did not bubble through my airlock but it did continue to ferment fully, so let it take its time and finish out. Had very small bubbles being released through most of the process. Cooked it out, bypassing the thumper with a head temp starting about 180 degrees and kept cooking it out until the output in the catcher was a little over 80 proof. Wanted the flavoring from the wash to get into the batch. Thanks to J.B. Wagonmaker. Moonshine Life Recipes Group. Cheers.